Here are 3 takeaways I learned spending a few weeks in Europe with my family of 6. Make sure to watch to the end to see the 2 best offal meals we ate on the trip. Takeaway number 1, organ meats are accessible in many other countries. You don't have to go out of your way to find organ meats in the countries we visited. Even though you can find processed food everywhere, I was pleasantly surprised to also find steak and kidney pies in some British train stations and at the well-known Borough Market. Blood sausages were not uncommon, and in one Denny's-style British cafe, as they pronounce cafe, I ordered the liver breakfast right off the menu. In Paris, there were so many tinned or canned meats, sometimes in glass jars at the regular grocery store, including duck liver pâtés. We bought a canned cassoulet to try and were surprised to find that it actually had bone-in cuts of meat in the can. I don't buy a lot of canned foods in the States, but my impression is that finding bones inside would be uncommon here. Also in markets in Italy, we saw butcher shops with many offal cuts. Tripe is very common in the cities we visited, especially Florence, but also cuts like trotters, oxtail, and organs filled out the cases along with steaks and loin cuts. In all these countries, along with Denmark, where we spent a few days, it was common to see tartare and liver pâté on the menu for appetizers or first courses. This kind of acceptance of raw meat and very nutrient-dense organ meats makes it feel acceptable, and quite frankly, every time we sampled these dishes, they were delicious. It's easy to eat well when the food also tastes great. If you want to learn more of my secrets for serving nutrient-dense organ meats that actually taste great, check out my free training at liverloverchallenge.com or see the link below. Takeaway number 2, organ meat cuts used to be poor fare, but eating them now is actually more specialized and more expensive due to the labor required to process and prepare them. I felt this way for some time now, but at a restaurant in Rome, the owner was explaining this same idea to me, that it was hard to keep the same well-loved dishes on the menu because they require more specialized prep work, and labor is expensive now. This challenge is pervasive in the slow food movement, where traditional ways of processing many types of foods have to compete with shortcuts that may compromise depth of flavor or nutrition. I think that preparing whole foods at home is a worthwhile endeavor, even if it takes a bit more time and effort, and including organ meats has a lot of value with respect to nourishing our bodies and respecting the animals that give their lives to feed us. In any case, offal cuts are more specialized now, and I'm grateful to have access to them. Takeaway number 3, the time I've taken to prepare real food at home translated to my kids being adventurous eaters and excited to try new things. At home, I actually feel like we eat really simple foods that typically don't come with nutrition labels, like produce, meat. But what this means is that they're open to many kinds of foods. We're not stuck in the uniformity of packaged foods, and this opened some doors for us that ended up being very special. I want to tell you about 2 different restaurants that we went to that specialize in organ meats, one in London and one in Rome. In London, we all ate at St. John's. This nose-to-tail British restaurant was started by the renowned chef Fergus Henderson, probably over 20 years ago now. Even though we don't eat out much at home and we ate many grocery store meals on our trip, I was so excited to splurge on this one and see for myself what some of these dishes were like. I had the calf liver with bacon and mash, and it was cooked perfectly. It was pink on the inside, seared on the outside, just creamy, earthy, delicious in every bite. It lived up to its reputation. I confess that for dessert, I ordered the bone marrow and parsley salad. A bit unconventional perhaps to skip their well-known dessert menu, but I loved it. Everything we had there was absolutely delicious. We also had a chance to go to Cecina del 1887 in Rome. This restaurant is still run by the same family after 6 generations and uses many cuts from what used to be a nearby slaughterhouse. We went a bit out of our way to find this gem, but it exceeded expectations. We were able to try a special menu item that they are known for called pahata. This is the intestine of veal that still has the fermented mother's milk inside. I confess I was a bit nervous trying this, but you have to imagine that it was like the best cheese-filled, tender pasta dish you've ever had, but so much better than that. Everyone loved it. We had an appetizer of vegetables and beans cooked with trotters, along with Roman tripe and some beautiful pastas. For the second course, we sampled grilled offal, including liver, sweetbreads, and testicles, and also had a platter of boiled meats that included tongue, meat, and trotters with a simple parsley sauce. We polished off this meal with a shared tiramisu among the 6 of us, before Simone, the owner, offered a tour of his wine cave and more lore about his family's history. This was the best meal of our trip. Some of my children might want to move to Rome because of it. If you're going to Rome, definitely look up Cecina del 1887 and make an effort to get there. It will be worth it. In the meantime, For everyday, nutrient-dense meals that taste great, get started today. I have over 100 recipes on my site at allflagoodcooking.com, and you can watch my free training at liverloverchallenge.com. I'll see you there.